Hey there, Nopenguin here, and at the beginning of 2023, I promised that this year I would help penguins recover from the loss of Halqifibrax, and I fully intend to do so. However, penguins aren't the only deck of mine that were hurt from the Halq ban. And to prepare me for the task of bringing penguins back beyond its former glory, I feel like I should take this moment to help another deck of mine. That's why today we are doing an updated Mermail list. Yes, that's right, I am taking a look back at my Mermail deck. It has been well over a year since I last showed off this deck, and since then we lost quite a bit. Not only did we lose Halqifibrax, we also lost Ronintonin. With those two cards gone, we had to look for other cards to abuse. And what we landed on were, of course, the Sprite cards. Honestly, these cards are so goddamn good in so many strategies. I guarantee these are the next Halqifibraxes. These are the cards that are gonna get banned. But for now, we are going to use them. They have brought Mermails right back to its former glory. We'll get into the combos and some replays later, but for now, let's just go through the card by card. Moonglacia, absolute staple. Rip 2 cards out of your opponent's hand, and with one of the combos, we can make sure that those cards do not activate in the graveyard. Danger Ogopogo, the second Sea Serpent you search during your combo. You special summon this up so you could go into a rank 8 with your Moonglacia, so you don't lose your battle phase the following turn. Abyss Megalo, great for pushing for game and really great for getting the equip spell. Triple Abyssus, 1 discard to summon itself out, amazing as an extender, but also as a way to get a single water into the graveyard for Aria. Lapis Dragon for the situations where I really need an extra body, and Triple Atlantean Dragoons, amazing card, non-hard once per turn, search a Sea Serpent when you send it to the graveyard for a water monster effect, and we have so many ways to do that. 1 Abyss Gund, Triple Deep Sea Minstrel, discard this card in another water, search your opponent's hand, and banish a card for the end of the turn. Amazing way to start off your plays to make sure that your opponent is not going to interrupt it with that Rogue Ash or Infib. Triple Swap Frog, we are using this similarly to Sprite decks currently, where we get it from the deck with Gigantic Sprite and special summon the one we send back, but also, much like Abyssus, this is a good way to get an extra water into the graveyard for Deep Sea Aria. On to our next engine, the Nimble engine. We are playing Triple Beaver and Double Angler. I'm always a fan of the 3 Beaver, 2 Angler, as I swear to God, every time I play Angler at 1, it ends up in my hand. But even stronger than Nimble Beaver, Deep Sea Diva is the normal summon of the deck. Normal summon this to special summon out Atlantean Prince, frankly. It's such a good card, gets so much advantage, and it's a level 2 to start our Sprite plays. Double Heavy Infantry is a double summon for either our Deep Sea Diva or Atlantean Prince, but can also pop a face-up card your opponent controls if sent to the graveyard by a water monster for its effect. And finally, the best bit of support we have ever gotten, Neptipus, the Atlantean Prince. This lets you dump any Atlantean monsters from your deck to the graveyard to add any Atlantean from your deck to your hand. For this situation, both the dump card and the add card can be the exact same. So you can dump your Dragoons to add a Dragoons, and then the Dragoons you just sent will let you add another card. It is an amazing way to set up your graveyard, set up your plays, and just get whatever you need into your hand. This card is amazing. Consistency time, we have Triple Deep Sea Aria, banish a water in your graveyard to add Deep Sea Diva, frankly. But other targets are Heavy Infantry, Atlantean Prince, Minstrel, and Dragoons. Triple Pot of Prosperity. We're also playing 2 Triple Tack, 1 Called By, and 1 Abyssgale the Mizuchi. This is a great card searchable from Abyss Megalo, equip it to any of your Mermail monsters, and it automatically negates the first spell your opponent plays on resolution. Now that's very important because if your opponent activates a card like Forbidden Droplets, let's say they send a monster and a spell, you may think they aren't able to negate that. However, Forbidden Droplet prevents you from responding to it with an activation of your card. This doesn't activate. This automatically applies during the resolution of Forbidden Droplets. So even if they discard a spell, this effect still goes through because you are not the one activating it. Onto our extra deck, we have IP, the stars of the show, Sprind and Elf. Sprind will go ahead and send your Angler so you could get a couple of Beavers out, and Elf will bring back your Swap Frog so you could go into Toad. Bujinki Ashashima. This card is a Mermail card through and through. It is so good for the deck. The idea here is after we Sprind, we have a couple of level 2s we could go into Asashima with, and by this point in the combo, we're going to be able to grab the Dragoons that we sent with Atlantean Prince and the one in hand to special summon them to go into either Bahamut Shark or Abyss Dweller. Again, I'll go more into this in the combo, but it is an amazing tool. And with the Sprite stuff, the fact that it can't be used as link material is just fine. Next, Abyssalancia. Really great card. The main thing we want to look at here is on a quick effect, you can send a water monster from your hand to the graveyard to add a Mermail. Now most often when you are going into this, the card that you are sending is going to be infantry, so she is essentially a pop to go ahead and search card. It's pretty great. Coral Anemone cause water, and one Unicorn cause IP. Then we have Gigantic Sprite, Double Totally Awesome, Bisweller, Bahamut Shark, our rank 8 of choice Hope Harbinger, and a couple of synchros. But with that said, let me talk you through the main combo line of the deck with a replay. Alright, so in this replay, all we need is Deep Sea Diva plus one card to discard. Now the other card could be literally everything else, I just chose the second Diva for this demonstration. What we do here is we normal Diva to, like I said, get out the Atlantean Prince. Prince will send Dragoons to add Dragoons, and with the Dragoons in the graveyard, we will go ahead and grab Moon Glacier. We'll go into Sprin will go ahead and send our Angler. Angler will grab two Beavers, we'll go ahead and send them for the Ashishima to go ahead and bring out the Dragoons and the Dragoons to go into Bahamut Shark. At this point we have enough to go for Moon Glacier, discard two from their hand, then we'll Bahamut Shark to go into Totally Awesome. We'll go ahead and get the card searched here to go Ogopogo to go into Harp Harbinger, then we could use the Ashishima for the Gigantic, and with the Bahamut Shark, which is the extra material on field, we can go into Elf to bring back the other Swap Frog we had just sent to go into a second Totally Awesome. This is one of the basic mainline combos we have here. With just that one card in hand and no kind of extension, we are able to go into this, have double Totally Awesome, a Hope Harbinger, and a Sprite Elf to get us a third Totally Awesome if we so wish. And remember, when Totally Awesome hits the graveyard, you're going to be able to refill your hand with a water from the graveyard, so it is in a really effective way to keep your resources high as you're negating your opponent's stuff. But there is one thing to note. When we use the Moon Glacier, we're discarding cards from our opponent's hand to the graveyard, and if anyone knows what format we're in, you know that could be very dangerous for a certain tier 0 threat. However, there is a way around this. We're going to go through the exact same combo as we did before, but when we use Ashishima, we're actually going to summon Abyss Dweller. Now, at this point, because Abyss Dweller is a quick play spell, we can chain it to the Moon Glacier, so the cards that they send are now negated in the graveyard. So if your opponent had tier monsters, they are not going to be able to use it whatsoever. And from here, we'd be able to continue the combo. However, when we are going for the Abyss Dweller play, we do need an additional extender, which we do play plenty of in the deck, but that extender is necessary for us to be able to make up for the fact that we do not have the Bahamut Shark to link off. But with that, I want to get into some replays and show you how this works in game. Our first replay is up against Red Eyes, and I know it's not a really impressive deck, but what I wanted to show here is what you can do if you do not open Deep Sea Diva. It may be the best play we have, but it's not the only play we have. See, in this situation, we already have the heavy infantry, so we're going to go through Abyssalacia and just get another material on field so we can do the Gigantic Sprite, go into the Totally Awesome combo. But with Abyssalacia, again, during your opponent's turn on a quick effect, we can pop a card to control to add a card from our deck. So even though we only have one card in hand, we're going to have plenty more during the end of the turn. We're just going to go ahead and get an extra body. They're going to try to use a stone. I feel Totally Awesome is good enough here. And I'll go ahead and use Totally Awesome to bring back a monster from our graveyard and get back with the elf. And from here, they try to go into battle, and I'll use this opportunity to grab MacLeod and pop their card. They have nothing here. They try to born here, and I just use Toad once again, which again gets me another water monster to our hand. At this point, we have the material for MacLeod, and we have what we need to go for game. So I'm going to go Elf here to go into Toad, to go into Totally Awesome. We'll go Abyss MacLeod, special summon itself out, grab itself the Equip spell, and then we'll go ahead and get the Abyssus from the graveyard here. Now, we could have gone ahead and put this in the link zone for an additional 500 per attack on this MacLeod, but we have well more than lethal. Our next replay is up against Mikano, and similar to the last one, we do not have Deep Sea Diva, but we do have the Angler here in the graveyard. Unfortunately, they do have the Ash that are going to be able to stop it, but Deep Sea Aria, we have another water in our graveyard, so we can go into Deep Sea Diva to start our plays that way. This is just another way to show how consistent the deck is to get to our starters, even if they have interruption through this. So we're going to be able to go into Sprint, and since we have the two Anglers, which is why I only play two, we can go ahead and still send the second one to get off our plays. Now, before we're going to be able to go into our Moon Glacier, then we're going to Asashima, bring back 2. We're going to go into the Bahamut because I realized Meccano is not really a deck that cares about the graveyard all too much. From here, we'll go Gigantic Sprite into the Swap Frog. You've seen this combo here before, and we were able to go into the Hope Harbinger, bring back the Swap Frog, then we'll go Swap Frog, send Swap Frog, go into our Elf, go ahead, bring back the Swap Frog, so we can go into our Toad. From here, they are completely out of it here. They try to do something, but they have way too much spell and trap negation, and they'll just end their turn. From here, I'm just going to go ahead, not waste too much time, destroy 1 card so I can go ahead and attack twice, and I'll attack 24, 24, 3000, and game. Our final replay is up against Punk Kashtira. I get to go first, and once again, I do not open the Deep Sea Diva normally, but with sending this to the graveyard and getting out our Angler once again, it is just as good as drawing Deep Sea Diva, which we are still going to do because being able to get out the Dragoons is so important for this deck, and we already have Moon Glacier in hand, so we just get the Okopoko early. Asashima will go ahead and still bring out the Dragoons here, so we'll go into the Abyss Dweller, go into the IP Masquerade to have enough in the graveyard for our Moon Glacier. Moon Glacier will activate here, and we've already gave the graveyard, but it really didn't matter in this situation right now. They do have the Magnum up because we discarded, and they're going to be able to get us our turn in the end phase, but that's actually kind of alright here. I'm just going to be able to go into Swap Frog to go into another Swap Frog, then I'll actually steal their Magnum for the extra material for Elf, so we can bring back the Swap Frog to be able to go into the Toad. Now we have not only our regular combo, but we also have the Unicorn threatened during their turn. I'm going to go into Swap Frog just as an extra bit of material. They're going to Lagoon, I figure why not, we're totally awesome here. They'll try to get, and they'll banish the Gigantic Sprite. Perfectly fine. Totally Awesome will try to reborn, and they will see that they have absolutely no hope here. They will concede. And that was the deck. I'm really happy with how this deck turned out. What I will say about that matchup, and really about all matchups in general, this is a deck that is very die roll dependent. While the deck does have a lot of going second tools in MacLeod, triple text, or heavy infantry, the way that I've built this deck, and really the way that I've played Mermails all this time, has always been as a full gas combo deck, because goddammit, it's my favorite kind of deck. You could easily make some modifications to the deck to be a lot more good on the draw. That's just not the kind of deck I wanted to make here. I wanted to bring it back to its power when we had Halka-Fibrex. That aside, the deck is really consistent. As you saw in those replays, I specifically chose ones where I didn't just draw the optimal combo of having Deep Sea Diva in hand, and I showed how the combos can still blossom out through there. Of course, the ones that I chose had Angler as the initiator at that point, but even if we didn't have Angler as you saw in one of those, Angler got negated, Deep Sea Aria and our other consistency tools are still going to be there to help dig for that Deep Sea Diva if we do not get it in the initial grip. This is such a fun deck to play, and I love my water decks. You know I love my water decks, and this is no exception. But let me know what you think. If you really want to see a going second Mermail deck, one that completely focuses on just breaking boards, maybe I'll do that down the line, but I have a lot of projects in mind right now, so until then, like if you like, subscribe if you want to see more. I am Nopenguin, Mermail Manchild, signing out.